Alright guys, so right now I'm at my friend Rick's house. He's going to be out of town for the week and I'm taking care of the birds. Being as he's out of town, of course I'm going to wait and post this after he's back home. I'm not going to put it out on the internet that my friend is gone and is not going to be at his house all week. That wouldn't be a very good idea. So I don't know if I'm going to video every day. I probably won't do it every day, but I am going to do some videoing while I'm here. This is a pigeon channel. I'm over here at my friend's pigeon loft, take care of his pigeons, so it seemed like something I should have on there. Though I don't have anything in particular that I wanted to show y'all. Just kind of keeping y'all up to date on what I'm doing. But I'll make all this into one video that'll I'll post after he comes back. Today is January 5th. I just did an update today. That should go up tonight. But I'll make sure to tell y'all what day it is when I take the videos, but I'll make it all into one and post it after he gets back. Anyways, his loft is much larger than mine. Now y'all have seen it before. I've been here for, let me back up so I can get it all on the camera. Anyway, so that's his flying loft. He told me I could film while I was here, and so I will, but I'm not really going to show y'all in there. That's kind of his shed slash office. I'm not really going to film in there or anything, but I'll show y'all the inside of the loft. First, I'm going to start with the breeding loft, which is this one right here, something completely separate. So, gotta make sure there's no birds loose in here. Sometimes they get out of the cages. That egg is broken. I sat it up there yesterday, but forgot to throw it out. I was here yesterday too, but it was pouring rain, like I said earlier, which will actually be like a week earlier now, because I'm going to be posting this so late, but it was pouring rain, and that's why the training basket with those birds got all wet. And still kind of mucky out. Also, just a side note, I did change clothes before coming over here. I'm not wearing the same clothes or the same shoes I was wearing while I was taking care of stuff at my loft earlier. But anyways, I'm going to get the food together and I'll turn the camera back on after I get in the breeding loft. Alright guys, so I'm in the breeding loft now. I always have to be careful coming in here just because sometimes they'll get out, one or two of them will get out of these cages. Yeah, so y'all have seen in here before. I showed y'all a little while back, but we got some flies in here. I got flies in my loft too, though. Anyways, we got several breeding pairs in here. Those pair of white birds have 2 eggs. I don't think they have anything. They've got a baby. He's sitting, I'm not sure on what baby there. They don't have anything. They've got 1 egg. I think they've got 1 egg. These 2 pairs don't seem to have anything. They've got a baby. They don't have anything. They've got a baby. And they don't have anything. So, well, I just got a text and that was pretty good news. It's always nice. Not having to do anything with pigeons. Something about tickets to Wet and Wild. I won during a fundraiser. Anyways, so I've got this bucket of feed. This is green. This is the Supreme pellets, I think. It's the same feed I use. Rick and I use the same feed, get it from the same store. This is the green. Green is better for the breeders. Gold is better for the flyers, and depending on what you're doing, there, kind of mix them. There's instructions on the back of the bag. Honestly, I've always just kind of fed one or the other, but now that I'm getting more serious about it and I'm going to be racing, I'll probably start mixing. Anyways, I'm just going to put a cup full in each of these feeders. I don't see any that are actually out of feed. Okay, they're out of feed. I think they were out of feed yesterday too, and so were they. So they're going through a lot. So I'll probably give them a little extra. I'm not sure why I mean, they've got a baby. I'm not sure why they've gone through it so quickly. But one of the great things about, but I'm not worried about them overeating. These are breeders. It's not the same thing as if they were flyers that Rick was currently flying. Anyways, the loft is pretty dirty. Of course, mine is too, and buildings full of pigeons tend to be dirty. But anyways, Rick didn't ask me to clean anything up, but I am going to surprise him and clean out the breeding loft while he's away. I'm not sure that I'm going to do that tonight, but I am going to clean all this out for him so that it's all clean when he gets back from vacation. He doesn't know that, but I always try to go above and beyond whenever I'm house sitting or pigeon sitting or whatever for someone. And then I've got to refill all these waters. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that because I don't really want to take them out one by one to the water hose. Let's see if I can't find something to put water in and bring the water to the bottles. But we'll see. Anyways, I'm not going to film me feeding them all. And this egg that was sitting up here, I sat it up here yesterday. It's broken, so I meant to throw it out and forgot. There's several in here. Of course, there's plenty of eggshells too. Of course, the eggshells fall through the wire after the babies hatch. Alright, well I tried to get out here in time to show y'all, but I didn't make it out here quite quickly enough. There's a Cooper's hawk just went flying across the field. It actually came sailing right over the loft. Not very high, pretty low right over the loft a few minutes ago while I was getting their water, but I left the camera sitting in the fly pen right here. See, the roof sticks out enough that I can lay the camera over there and not worry about it getting wet. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, but I just saw it go flying back over, so I stepped out hoping to show y'all. But yeah, hawks are not something, especially Cooper's hawks, are not something you want to see flying around the loft. I'm sure Rick will just be so pleased when he sees on my video that there was a hawk flying around. I'll send him a text later and let him know, but the birds are all pinned up, so they're in no danger. It's just not a good thing. Looks like a nice place for a hawk to hunt, though. Nice place for pigeons to fly, nice place for hawks to hunt. Alright, so I just finished in the breeding loft. I filled up this jug full of water and used that to refill all these Mountain Dew bottles. Of course, it took more than a gallon of water to do that. I refilled the jug several times. But I think now I'm going to check on the white ringneck doves and then we'll go into the big loft. Here are the white ringneck doves. I have to be very careful opening this up, or they will dart out. They've just got the same feeder and water that the breeders have. I assume that's a little hen right there, and that was her egg, but it is no more. I'm assuming that one that just chased her and made noise is probably a cock. I don't know as much about ringneck doves as I do pigeons. I do know they're beautiful though, and the diet and housing is pretty much the same on a smaller scale, and I would really like to have some, but unfortunately I've not been able to obtain any yet. There they are. This keeps the rain out, but also before that was there, the hawks would land on top, and the hawks would actually pull birds out through the wire. So that's not a good thing, so that's why he's got these on there. Alright, now we're going to head into the big loft, but y'all are just kind of hanging around my neck because I'm carrying 2 cans of feed. Going to be careful doing this. Unlock that one. I got another one up here. And I'm going to do this very quickly. Close that. I'm actually going to pull this bungee cord through and bungee cord it because it was wanting to come open at the bottom yesterday. Again, sorry y'all are just kind of hanging around my neck. Baby pigeons. Gotta watch out for the baby pigeons down there. Pigeons in here get 2 cans of grain, whereas the other birds get pelleted feed. Let's see, so there's a broken egg right there, which has gotten on that one, so I doubt if that one's gonna make it. I'm not sure about these. There's some babies in here on the floor that just seem too young, but I felt them yesterday and I'm feeling them again today, and they've been fed. Their crops are full. That egg's warm, it's been being sat on. I guess those look like 2 white ones there. Yeah, they've got food in their crops, so I guess it's fine. These white ones are a little older, but yeah, their crops are all full of feed, so I was a little worried about those 2 right there, but they were fine yesterday and they're fine again today. Anyways, I'll show you all around in here a little bit. I guess I'll start at the back and work my way back to the front door. There's kind of a nest right here. Pigeons were sitting yesterday. Anyways, this here is young birds, but evidently they're not all young birds. They're just what Rick's going to be flying right now, because obviously young birds don't lay eggs. They're warm. I guess the pigeon just got off the nest right before I came in here. Just looking to see if anyone else is. They're not real happy about me being in here. Here's the aviary, and there's the other one over there. He's got these doors on rollers. These box perches right here, I was going to do mine in my racing loft about like these, but maybe just a tad smaller, but not necessarily. But that's basically how I was going to do the box perches in my racing loft, had I been able to build what I was wanting to build. It's kind of a neat looking grizzle. See, I like these real light colored grizzles where they're mostly white with just some black on the edges of them. I really like that look, and this one's got some white flights in the skin. That's not from the grizzling, that's just that there are some white flights. The other wing, same way. There's the tail, if y'all can see it. Anyways, a couple interesting looking grizzles in here though. That one. Anyways, trying to be careful that no pigeons get through these doors. It's kind of breezy in here at the moment. They're all going out this window. Y'all can't really see them because they're all leaving. I'm worried that egg's going to get broken like the one that was right there. I think that one's real cool right there. Not sure why that one bird looks that way. Anyways, grab these cans of feed. Grab these cans. I don't remember what the difference between this section and that section is. I think these might all be birds from Bill Saunders, but I'm not 100% positive of that. I'm pretty sure that Bill didn't give Rick any white birds, so those I know aren't. But I think a lot of these are from Bill Saunders, but I'm not certain of that. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna set those for the moment. I gotta gather up all these feeders, take them out there, refill them. I should have grabbed the feeder. That one Rick's had to just give them 2 cans of feed in here, so I'm not sure what. I don't think anything needs to happen with that feeder, but need to get this one in here. And you are just going to be kind of hanging on the neck here. I'm just going to kind of toss these out the door for the moment. Try not to, didn't really want that to break apart when I did that. I don't think it damaged it, but I want to be careful with these, but I'm also trying to not let any pigeons out. And these doors right here don't want to glide real well. There we go. Lock. I locked the top one. The bottom one doesn't really lock real well. I'm just going to close the big door while I get all their feed together. I guess I'm not going to leave the camera on while I walk through there anymore because y'all probably can't see anything. It's probably just shaking back and forth. But oh, I remember how I did this yesterday. Because they were empty yesterday too. I unscrewed them off the green bases and just brought the 2 cup parts, filled them up, and brought them in and put them back together. That worked out fairly well. I'll probably do that again tomorrow because I don't like tossing them out here and it coming apart like that. But I do want to just be able to toss them out the door because I want to be able to do it real quick. Don't want any pigeons getting out of there. So, alright, so now I'm in here with the feed. They're obviously hungry. You want some food? Come here. Huh, there's a band there laying on the floor. I'll bet that means one of these squabs lost the band. I don't think there are any hanging in here. Let me put a top on one of these and then try and figure that out. Who's not wearing a band? That one's got a band. Nothing up there. Band, band, band. They're both wearing bands. Those are too little for a band. I'd say he's a little too small for a band. I'll go ahead and grab this eggshell. Everyone up here have a band. Let's see. Band. Band. They've both got bands. Sorry. Terrible camera work. I probably can't see anything. And there's one pigeon up here. Yeah, that one's got a band. I think that's all the babies in here, so I'm going to check the next section over. It is possible that they dropped it through the bars. It's not likely, but it is possible. Let's see. Band. Band. Again, that's a little too small for a band. I only fill one up there, no egg though, so that's interesting. I assume that this one's got a band. Yeah, he's got a band. Too big to put one on though at this point. Just an egg, but it's kind of cool, and there's kind of some busted egg whites and yolk on it, so that's not good. Those are fine. Just eggs. Just eggs. These seem like the most likely ones to not be wearing a band. Let's see, no band. Neither of them have bands, but I kind of bet they need to be banded. I'm going to check with Rick. And then they're not really supposed to be raising babies, but there's one nest with eggs in it with no babies, so I'm sure it fell off of someone, but at this point it doesn't matter anymore, I suppose. But I'll check with Rick, because I feel like those two need to be banded. They look old enough. And then all these, they've got bands there. Probably the ones that broke that egg. Not a real good place for a pigeon to build a nest. They've all got bands. Of course, even if they didn't, they're too big now for me to put one on, so they've all got their bands, so oh well. I suppose, I know Rick will watch this eventually. Hopefully this will help you. June 5th, that baby hatched. I think that's the only baby that has hatched so far, so it'll probably be ready to be banded by the time you get back. So I'll probably make a note of that. Stick it over here for him or something. Alright, so I've basically just finished. I had to refill all these waters. I say all these, there's only one in each section. These are much bigger and nicer than the milk jugs I use, so they hold enough water that only need one per section if I refill them each day. And they weren't completely empty. The one for that section is actually inside the loft because there's not a aviary on the outside. Anyways, I said that it looked like it was going to be pretty much good weather the rest of the week, and it does. But first, it's going to storm one last time. So I'm going to hurry up and get out of here. Close everything up, make sure everything's like it needs to be right before I leave, and then I'm going to be gone. That's probably all the filming I did today. Will probably be the most I'll do in a day. I'm probably not going to film so much the rest of the week, but I'll keep my camera with me. Show you all the hawks when they fly over if that happens, and anything interesting that happens. But I'll keep you all fairly up to date, you know, except that you'll get it all at once at the end of the week after Rick's back. But that's that. And that's it for June 5th. Hey guys, it is Tuesday, June 6th. I'm kind of in a hurry today because I've got to go to work right after this, so I'm not going to be filming too much, but if there's something happens or something I want to show y'all, I'll turn the camera back on, but and I'll probably make a short clip just before I leave, but other than that, that's going to be it for today. Alright guys, so it's still June the 6th. I've got all the feeding and watering done, and I was able to get it done pretty quickly. I've actually still got about 20 minutes until I have to leave here, head to work, so I'm going to do a better job of checking over the birds today and look at each one of, well not, I won't be able to look at every one of them, but picking up more birds, feeling their weight, making sure they all look like they're doing fine. I'm in the middle section, and all these birds always go out the window as soon as I come in here, so y'all have not been able to see very many of them, but I was able to get most of them to come back in here and then close the window so that y'all could see. There's still one, I think it's a grizzle out there. It's pretty dark colored though, but I got all the rest of the birds in, so I'm gonna look at them. But there's one pigeon in particular I've really been wanting to look at that is always flies out there. Alright, so I've really been wanting to get my hands on this one and look at it. It's obviously a grizzle, but it's got blue and it looks like it's got red in it. I don't know, it's got a lot of that red color coming through, but I'm not sure that that's actually ash red, because ash red should overpower it. It's got a few white flights too. I just think this is a really cool looking bird, so I wanted to get my hands on it. I'm not sure how old, let's see. Looking at its, yeah, this is this year's bird. This is one of this year's young birds. That's cool. I wonder who its parents are, where that one came from. because I haven't seen any other pigeons that really look like that. I mean, there's some other grizzles, but not anything that looks like that. I don't know. That's really cool though. Anyways, I mainly really just wanted to pick up that bird and look at it because I've been seeing it the past few days and wanting to get my hands on and look at it and haven't been able to. So now that I have, I open the window back up. And as soon as I step out of the way, they will all go barreling out. As soon as one goes up there and flies through that window, they're all going to be gone. There went one. Now the rest are going to follow. They're not big fans of me being in here. And that is why I closed the window before. That one's actually still in here though. Maybe that's the nest it came out of. That bird's not fighting with it. But I don't know. It might just not be bothering it this time. So I'm gonna start over here and work my way back to the front. I'm like, huh, there's that net sitting on those eggs. There was a homer sitting on them earlier. As far as I know, there's not a satin net homer pair in here though. That bird right there is fairly similar to that one over there. Not quite to the same extent, but it is there. That one maybe a little bit too. See, it's got some darker and lighter feathers. That's interesting. Wonder what their numbers say. Actually, that one... See, some of these have some lighter and darker grizzled feathers on them. I think a lot of times grizzles molt out a little bit darker than they are when they hatch. So maybe, hopefully y'all can hear me over all the pigeons flying around here. Maybe what's going on is these grizzles are going through their first molt, and their new feathers are darker. There's a white bird in here that was pooping green. Rick asked me to keep an eye on. I think it might be that one. I'm gonna grab it real quick. Try and get hold of it. There we go. This one wants to fight me. Anyways, turn him over and look. No, that's not it. It could do to have a little more weight on it though, but it's not too bad. I know it's in here because I saw it earlier while I was giving them their water. There it is. It's that one right there. But I don't think I can get it. I'll try. Nope. I probably could have reached it in that corner, but not now that it's going over there. I don't know. I might. Just give me a second. So I was able to get the bird. It is pooping green. I don't know if it still is, but its feathers on his butt are staying green. And if you look, hopefully y'all can see, he's got a little bit of green on the tip of his beak, probably from messing with his feathers right there, where they're kind of probably getting a little stuck together. So since it's on his beak too, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's probably still pooping green. He could do to, you know, be a little fatter, but his weight's really not too bad. So of course I'm going to continue to keep an eye on him, but for now he's all right. Rick keeps a net in here that I was able to scoop it out of there with, but it must be an old net. It's just catching that bird. It never got caught on the wire or anything, but look at that. I bet it's an older net. I don't know. It didn't catch on the wire or anything, so. Oh well. I used it for what he had it in here for, so. Not pleased that it broke, but that's what it's in here for, so I'm not too worried about that. It's probably an older net. But it hangs in here, not out in the sun or anything. So I don't know. Look at all those birds packed over there. If this were my loft, I would take that egg that they're you know, it's a miracle they haven't crushed yet, and stick it over here with that one if I knew that they were the same age. I don't have any clue what age they are, and this is not my loft, so I'm not going to do that. But if I knew that they were the same age, or real close, I'd probably stick the one over there with the other. Actually, if it were my loft, I'd do it no matter what, because I could take the first one and raise it myself on formula, but Rick doesn't have any, he doesn't raise them on formula, so. But that's another reason why we try and keep birds from nesting on the floor. But some of them are just determined. Anyways, I wonder what time it is, so I don't want to be late. I still got 12 minutes. So, just gonna grab it. They're at a good weight. They're both at good weights. I bet that one's fixing to lay again. Always check on the babies. Make sure they don't have any problems. Something seems off about that leg. Maybe not. Nah, he's using it fine. He just had it stuck under the other baby, kind of weird. They both seem fine. Rick said to just leave them. He's going to band them when he gets back. Seems like I remember there being something right here. Nope, that nest is empty. You got those two. There was a pigeon up here. I wonder what... There's a baby. Looks fine. I don't feel anything else up there. Wonder how much this feed I just gave them is left. They ate what they liked the best and left what they liked the least. I'm not sure what these longer seeds are, but evidently they're not as tasty as the rest of it. So they left all those till last. Then over here, they look fine. This one, second baby, hatched today. Take the eggshells. I don't know why she hadn't tossed them out herself, but some nice looking babies right here. You gonna peck at me? No? Not too fierce, I guess. That one's a young bird, but it's not, I'm gonna say it's probably not that one's nest mate, because it's obviously a bit older. Beautiful looking bird though. Anyways, all the babies seem to be fine. I'm going to pick up some of these birds at random, feel their weight, check for green poop or anything. So, I'm not going to film that because it's hard to film it and do it at the same time, but I've got enough time. I'm going to do that before I leave. Alright guys, so I looked at quite a few more birds. They didn't enjoy it. They all look fine. Everyone seems to be pretty healthy. Everything seems to be going pretty well. So this is the end of my visit on June 6th. Next video should be tomorrow. I'm also planning on cleaning out the breeding loft tomorrow. Rick didn't ask me to do that, and I know he was actually planning on paying me to do it later on. He's paying me for this, and the money is going to a missions trip I'm going on. But I just can't help myself. I see something needs to be done, I got to take care of it. That's just kind of how I operate when people ask me to house sit or in this case pigeon sit or anything like that. If I see something that needs to be done and I know how to do it, I'm going to take care of it so that when they get home they don't have to. So I just can't help myself. So I'm going to do that. Hey guys, today is June the 7th, back at Rick's. Not much to report. Everything went well yesterday. I'm going to check on all the birds, feed and water them. First priority is to get them all fed and watered. That is what Rick has asked me to do. So that's first priority, but then as long as I have the time, I'm going to clean out the breeding loft and scrape down all the perches in the big loft. Now, the reason I'm only completely cleaning out the breeding loft is mainly just because all the birds in there are in separate breeding cages, so I can have that door open without worrying about any of them coming out, and they're also with their babies. Now, see, what Rick and I did last time when we cleaned the big loft is we just put all the birds out here into the fly pens, or aviaries. I guess it's an aviary. Put them all out into the aviaries, closed the windows, and then cleaned it out. Well, there were no birds in that section then. Now there are, and there's not an aviary. Oh, I'm sure there is an aviary that goes there, and I could probably find it. I'm just not sure where it is. Actually, you know what? I guess this is probably it. I was kind of expecting something else made out of PVC and wire like this, but I guess that's probably the fly pen right here. But either way, there are birds breeding in there, sitting on eggs and young babies that need to be sitting on them, and so I'm not going to go in here and mess around too much and risk them being off eggs or babies too long or anything. I don't want to do anything like that. Rick left me in charge over here, so I'm going to take as best care of them as I can. But I'm not worried about that happening in the breeding loft because, again, they're in separate cages, so they're stuck there with their babies and eggs. And all the babies in there are old enough, they're not being sat on or anything. It's just some of them have eggs. But also those pens are large enough that I'm not worried that if they get scared they're going to thrash around and break anything. So that's why I'm cleaning out in there. But I am going to come in here and scrape down all the perches and nest boxes. But first I'm going to get everyone fed and watered. So these pigeons are basically always the first ones whose feeder I refill. Of course, I haven't come back and it be empty yet, but I put more food in it. And he always comes up here to the wire while I'm trying to get food for him. And I thought maybe he was just being friendly and tried to hand feed him, but he's not just being friendly. It's actually the opposite. He just wants to bite me. It's okay. I got pigeons like you that like to bite me too. But at least it's not like the other pigeons, which are like terrified of me and cower in the back. He's gonna come attack me. Alright guys, so I'm in here in the breeding loft, feeding. Haven't refilled waters yet. I don't think anybody is out of water. They're all about half full. Of course I'm gonna refill them, but I was just thinking about that a lot of y'all are always asking, how do you tell the difference between male pigeons and female pigeons, which is not an exact science, unless you actually go to the vet and get their blood tested or something. But anyways, I've showed y'all how to tell based off of behavior, but everyone is always far more interested in how pigeon people can usually tell just with a glance, by looking at them. So I'm going to kind of show you all some stuff. The oldest pigeon I have is about 2 years old. So these older pigeons here, well, that's not true actually, because I've got that, not anymore. I've got that black racing homer hen. She's older. Other than her, all of my others are like 2 years or younger, I think. So this actually provides me with a good opportunity to show you what male and female birds look like. Now, hopefully I don't get any of this wrong, because I'm not actually looking at bands, or I don't actually. Rick has a book with everyone's band numbers written down here somewhere, which would have their gender on it, but I don't have that book. I think I know where it is, but I haven't looked. Anyways, so I'm just kind of going to be looking and telling y'all. So first thing that should be noted is it is, let me see what time it is, 6:24 in the evening. So it's evening. I realize not all of y'all that are watching are in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, but it really doesn't matter. Just whatever, in the evenings, mornings, whatever. wherever you and your pigeons are located. In the early mornings and the evenings and at night, usually, an emphasis on usually, the hens are sitting on the nest, and the cocks usually sit late morning and afternoon. But again, that's a behavior thing, and everyone's always far more interested in how we can tell just by looking at them. So here's a good example. I just showed y'all this cock wants to defend his territory. He's coming over here trying to bite me. Anyways, so look at how pronounced his waddle is. Now, that can be just a genetic thing. You know, there are even breeds of pigeon that are specifically bred for large waddles, like wattle and seer, like English carriers have a huge nose seer and waddle, or beak seer and waddle, whatever. But with homers, usually an older cock is going to have a larger one. Same over here, and again, I said usually the hen sitting on the nest this time of day. I'm pretty sure that's the cock sitting on the nest. Again, larger seer. It's not just larger too. You can see it's bumpier, whereas the hen there, hers is rounder. Hopefully, let me. I'm not looking at the camera while I'm doing this. Let me zoom in. Hopefully, you can see maybe how big his is in comparison to hers. I'm not 100% certain on this pair, but I'm going to say by the fact that the white grizzle one there, just by the fact that its tail is pointed down, its rump's kind of up in the air with the tail pointed down, that looks like a hen ready to lay. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the hen. It's a little harder to tell with this pair of pigeons, but if we look at the head, look how nice and round her head is, and how much less of a crown she has. Right there, that part of her head would be the crown. If we look over here at the mate, we can see his head looks flatter. That's because he's got more of a crown, so this area just up above and in front of his eye there is larger, and it also makes his head look a little flatter, which we can see again over here, except we're not really going to because he wants to fight. He's not going to turn sideways where you can see, but so never mind, I can't use him, but I'll find another example. With this pair, it's probably a little harder for y'all to tell, but this isn't a good example, but that one right there, the one that's in the middle of the frame there, which unfortunately is not focusing on him, but he does have a little more of a crown. You can see the hen there, her head's just a little more rounder. She just looks feminine. You learn what looks feminine and what looks masculine in pigeons. And again, there's the hen on the nest, and there's the cock. And we can see that the cock has a larger nose seer versus the hen, which has a smaller, smoother one. And the hen wants to look straight at me, so you can't really see the side of her head. But you can see again on him that more pronounced crown. The camera's focusing on him pretty well. So you can see that area just up above in front of his eyes a little larger. Also, cocks tend to be a little bit larger than the hen as well, which we can kind of tell by looking, and that's not a small hen certainly, but I don't know if y'all can tell real well, but this cock is larger than the hen, but he's not going over there with her because he just wants to bite me. But and again, of course, these aren't sitting on a nest because their baby's old enough. Doesn't need to be. But I'm going to say that actually I know it is, that dark T-check right there, that is the cock. I know that because I know which pigeon that is. It was in here on the day. Rick and I were cleaning. It was one of 4 pigeons that weren't in cages. Anyway, so it's the cock, and again, a little bit larger nose seer. To be honest, the hen kind of has a little bit of a crown to her there, but if we look at the cock, we can still see he's got a little bit more of one, where she's got a little bit flatter, just girlier looking head. And again, same thing over here. And of course, as y'all seen with my pigeons, which are, most of them are younger, just a year or 2 old, you can't tell much by looking at the nose seer. This looks like a younger pair. But I'm going to say that the check is probably the cock. And again, I'm not certain of that. But I'm going to say that that check is probably the cock. Of course, here's another real good example of the cock having a big, large sear. I know y'all can see with this guy how big his sear is. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to focus on him versus the hen. So, hopefully that helps you guys, because I'm always getting asked that. And it's something you learn by looking at more and more of them. Again, that dark one right there is the cock, and the blue bar is the hen. I'm pretty certain of that. Hopefully that helps y'all. Also, if it lays an egg, it's a pretty good bet it's a hen. So, but that's how you tell by looking at them. Now I need to finish. I got to do this one on this side, and then the rest of these. Alright, so I'm still in here feeding. I'm probably making it appear like it takes a long time, but it really doesn't. I just keep getting sidetracked. Anyways, I really like this blue bar. He's friendly is not quite the right word for him, but he's been the most interactive. So I pulled him out and looked at him, and I looked at his band, and he's 12 years old. That is a very large, older pigeon. I like him though. I don't know, something about him. He's got a little personality, I guess. Whereas any of these other pigeons, gotta come get this feeder, they're cowering in the back, and I'm just getting their feeder, and they're freaking out. So, whereas this guy over here, now he's in the back because he doesn't want me to pick him up again, because I already pulled him out and looked at him. But I mean, he's not really freaking out. He just doesn't want me to pick him up, and he doesn't have anywhere to go anymore. So, also, this is cool. Rick had all his bungee cords around going across the side, but I found that allowed it to open a little easier. Whereas this one, if you hook it down there, it keeps it from coming open a little bit better. And if you hook the bungee cord right here, holds it open for you, which works a little better up here on one of these, because then it's above the height of my head, whereas I have to bend down for that to work. But I don't know, I just kind of think that's neat. I don't have any cages like these. I just kind of came up with that. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm enjoying being over here. Alright, so I'm in the third section of the loft, and there's that nest with 3 eggs in it. For whatever reason, they won't sit on that nest while I'm in here, but I've been here several times, and now I've seen 3 different pigeons sitting on that nest, and I haven't seen the same one sit on it twice. So, I don't know, I think that's kind of funny. I've seen 2 different homers and a satin net sitting on it. Here's one of the pigeons that's been sitting on this nest. It's a grizzle hen. I think it may just be that it's real light colored and it's molting out darker. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm trying not to get too close to it because I'll spook it off the nest. Alright, so this is the end of my video for the 7th. I got all the perches scraped down in the big loft, and those boards that were in between the cages hanging on the walls in the breeding loft, I got those cleaned off, and half of this, the floor of the breeding loft mostly done, everything shoveled out. I'll have to finish tomorrow because I've got to go, but I'll finish shoveling out the other half and then sweep it out. But that's the end of the video for. Oh, also, I found a dead squab on the floor, a day-old squab, one of the ones that had just hatched either yesterday or the day before. Texted Rick, and he called me and talked to me about it, found out which one it was. Evidently the cock bird killed it. He's had this problem with it before. It'll kill the babies to get the hen ready to breed again, so that's not good. Hopefully the second squab makes it. Alright guys, it is, sorry, checking to make sure it was on video, but today's June 8th, it's a Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and get all the birds fed and watered, and then I'll be able to finish the cleaning that I was doing yesterday. I'll let y'all know if anything happens, and we'll check and see if that baby in there is still alive or if the cockbird killed it. Alright, I just refilled the waters. I just came back into the breeding loft and look at that. How nice. I'm about to clean out the loft anyways though, or finish cleaning it, but I'll have to refill that. Anyways, I came in here because I left the camera in here. And I wanted to come get the camera because I've got something to show y'all. I just went into I always feed the middle section of the loft first because I have to feed them the seed. And then I pull out their feeders and give them the food. Now, I don't normally point the camera down at the ground while I walk. Y'all know that. I'm a little better photographer than that. But I'm doing it on purpose because I've got something to show y'all. Something I found in the middle section. It's in this box. Hopefully not trying to get out. There it is. Beautiful black. I want to say that's a black rat snake, but it might be a king snake. I'm not sure. Obviously, got that big lump in the middle. I know which bird it ate. Anyways, it's a pretty nice snake. It unfortunately, I usually keep a pillowcase with me. I actually almost always have a pillowcase with me in case I find a snake. And for whatever reason, I didn't bring one to the pigeon loft. But I took a empty feed bag in there. Took a, I've got to go back in here anyways to get those things out. But I took in an empty feed bag to put it in, and I had a broom handle that didn't have anything attached to it, just because I always like to be pretty cautious when I'm approaching a new snake. And this one in particular was reared back looking like it was ready to bite me. Sorry, I'm trying to latch let's put the bungee cord back on here. Anyways, this one in particular was reared back and looking like it was ready to bite me. So here's the handle. I just kind of laid it down. Anyways, but I messed around with it for a moment with the stick and pretty quickly realized it was just bluffing and it wasn't going to try and bite me. So I just picked it up and put it in the bag. Sorry, I know it's real noisy with all the birds flying around. Anyways, they ate one of the squabs that was down here on the floor. It was the same size as that one right there, but it was the darker one. I don't remember if it was a dark grizzle or if it was like a T-check or something. I don't remember, but that's the one that it ate. But thankfully it doesn't seem to have harmed any of the other pigeons. Well, that's interesting. Those satinets don't have babies. So I think that's the satinet's nest box. But I don't understand how those babies would have gotten into it. Maybe the satinets is this one, and for some reason they both just flew up to that one. I don't remember. Either way, thankfully the snake didn't harm any of the other birds. I'm not sure how it got in here. I don't think it could have gotten in around the door, but maybe it came in through one of these windows. I don't know. Anyways, I'm, happy that I found a black snake. Okay, that pigeon, I've seen that blue bar, I've seen one of these grizzles and a satinet, that grizzle right there, and one of these satinets. I've seen all of them sit on this nest. So I don't know whose eggs or whose, but anyways, I'm always happy to find a black snake, but I'm not happy that it ate one of Rick's squabs. But it's been taken care of. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. For starters, I'm going to take it home and play with it, because I'm one of those people that likes to take out a snake and handle it. Gotta get this. There we go. So, for starters, that's what I'll do. But I doubt my parents will let me keep it. My parents don't really mind snakes all that much, but I lost one in the house one time. I've not been able to keep them in the house since then. Never did find the snake I lost, but we'll see. I like snakes. I've actually never killed a black snake. Now I've killed venomous snakes, but not a black snake. Well, I gotta get these containers out, but I want to be real careful not letting any birds out. So that's going to be the end of this video segment. Also, while I'm thinking about it, that baby is still in there. So far, so good as far as that baby is concerned. We'll see how things go. That's probably the end of the video for today, but we'll see. Alright guys, that's the end of the video for June 8th. Nothing much more to show y'all, just than that snake got in there. I finished getting the breeding loft cleaned out, and I had already scraped down all the perches in the big loft yesterday. Doves are doing fine, pigeons are doing fine, you know, except for that one just got eaten. But that squab that's in there, it didn't get killed by its father, at least not yet, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But I'm going to take the snake home, take care of it, literally. Some of y'all are shaking your heads in disbelief. He's going to take the snake home. Yeah, I'm going to take the snake home. I like black snakes. But that's the end of the video. Hey guys, it's Dustin. Today is March 10th. Hold on. No, it's June 10th. I don't know why I said March. June 10th. Anyways, I'm not at Rick's house, and that's because I forgot to take my camera both yesterday and today, so I didn't take videos. Yesterday I had to go to work and forgot it, so I was kind of in a hurry. And then today I had other errands to run afterwards and before, and so I just didn't think about grabbing my camera. Y'all didn't miss anything though. That baby that we were worried the cockbird might kill, so far it's still fine. There was nothing really that happened that y'all would have wanted to see, just more of the same. Anyways, I'll do a quick update on my loft, and then that'll be the end of this video, just because I haven't done an update yesterday or today, so I'll go ahead and just put a little bit on the end of this video. Young birds are doing fine. I started them on probiotics yesterday. I see an egg back there. Anyways, I started them on probiotics yesterday. Still doing it today. I did finally get around to it and put another jug in there, which y'all can see they've already drank all of that one and knocked it over, but they still got water now that I've got a second one in there. Anyways, obviously time to refill that. It's weird that I'm having trouble getting the door open. Anyways, they've been getting all the food they want. Had to buy more today. Anyways, there's an egg back there, but it looks broken. I'll pull it out in a minute. I mean, not that it really matters that it's broken. I was just going to throw it out anyways. There's no way for the birds to raise it. And it was that one right there. Oh, y'all can't see through the wire. That one right there in the corner, it was her that laid it. She's the only adult hen in here. Anyways, and her mate is this one right here, but everybody's showing off to her with her being the only adult hen. Anyways, so I was just going to have to throw it out. I'm not really breeding them, but and walk over here. I've kind of got some of the wood pulled out from underneath the loft. And again, these guys were started on probiotics yesterday as well. It's time to refill their waters too. Anyways, she laid an egg on the floor. I assume it was her egg because no one else should be laying right now unless those white birds finally mated and laid, but I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure it's hers. Anyways, I threw it out because it was terrible looking. But the reason being is, y'all remember that Rick had 4 white ring-necked doves that I was taking care of. He's not breeding them, and they've been laying eggs, but they've all been breaking. I was able to save one egg that didn't break this week, and so what I'm going to do is, instead of not letting them raise anymore because I wanted to switch the mates, the cock from this pairing, which would be that older indigo spread cock, and made it into her so that I could hopefully get some indigos that weren't spread. I am still going to do that, but not right this moment because I'm going to put that dove egg under her. Anyways, I stuck a fake egg in the nest hoping she would start sitting on it. It seems that she has, but she may have also laid her own egg. Let me see. Nope, she's just sitting on the fake egg. So even though she laid her real egg on the floor, now that I've got a fake egg in there, she's sitting on it. Anyways, I'll probably give her till tomorrow and see if she lays a second one. And if not, I'll go ahead and put the dove egg. Well, either way, I'll go ahead and put the dove egg under her. But yeah, so I was hoping to get 2, but the first one, they only laid the two while I was taking care of them, and the first one broke. Only the second one didn't, and then neither pair ever laid another one after that. But I'm going to try that. I asked Rick if he thought that pigeons would raise a dove egg. He said he didn't think they would, but I don't know. I mean, if they'll raise pigeons, if pigeons will raise babies with short beaks like that and come in weird colors, and if that pigeon's willing to sit on those deformed eggs, which by the way, last I checked were viable and growing, then and if she's willing to go sit on that fake egg I put in her nest after she laid her real one on the floor, I think she probably will. But I don't know. We'll see. And if she doesn't, and if it dies, you know, easy come, easy go. But hopefully it works out. Nothing else to. Both of these guys' eggs hatched, so they've got 2 babies now. I banded Coco and Swift's remaining baby, which is down there. Swift's sitting on it. Both of these babies are black spread, but unfortunately they both have some white flights, which makes me worry that the hen may have bred with a roller cock. Hopefully not, though. I'm going to try and find out if either of the 2 of them have parents or grandparents with white flights. Because, I mean, I've got one pigeon, one blue bar homer with some white flights, and you see homers with white flights fairly often. So it's entirely possible that it could be coming down from a grandparent or great-grandparent. But since the first pair didn't have any white flights and these both do, I'm worried that it's probably bred with a roller. Hopefully not. This young blue bar here still has this inflated crop, which is, it's just air. I can feel it. It's just air. I don't want to squeeze it too hard. I'm not sure what to do about it, though. He's starting to get a little bit thin, but he seemed to still be eating and drinking. I need to get that taken care of. I just don't know what the problem is. But now that I'm looking at it, looks like he may have pooped green a little bit. But again, I am just getting him over coccidiosis, so that could have been from the coccidiosis. I'm not sure. I think they're pretty much cured of it now, but and I think I nipped it in the bud before it really became a thing. But I don't know. If y'all have any suggestions, that would be appreciated. It is air. I've heard things about, you know, cutting it open or puncturing with a needle or whatever to release the air, but I don't particularly want to do that, and releasing the air isn't the only problem. If you know what, I assume that even if I release the air, if I don't do anything to fix whatever was the original problem, then it's just going to fill back up with air again. Would be my guess. So I've got a friend that I'm texted earlier about it. I'm going to find out what she thinks I ought to do, but yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with it. Anyways, I don't think there's much more to show you all than that. Both these babies are cocks. Oh, one of their eggs never hatched. One of their eggs hatched and is a baby now, but the other didn't hatch. It was dead. Here's their baby. Feel a little bump on it. Anyways, put it back in there. Need to clean out the loft. Think I'm gonna put pine shavings in it again now when I clean it out. Anyways, trying to make this part pretty short since it's about my pigeons and this was a video about me going over to Rick's house to take care of his. The birds down there in that loft are doing, yeah, I mean, they're doing okay. The indigo check is not eating as well and gaining weight back as fast as I wish it would, but it doesn't seem to be getting any worse, and the others seem to be doing well. I kept giving them the coccidiostat for 2 more days, so I did 7 days for them, and now I started giving them the probiotics today. Anyways, that snake that I caught at Rick's that was in his loft, I brought it home. It's over here. I'll get it out and show you all that in a moment. Alright, I'll get it out now. There we go. Just want to be kind of careful getting her out. It's still kind of a new snake to me, so even though she seems pretty nice, I want to be careful. That and the inside of that box is kind of rough. I don't really want to drag her across it too quickly and scratch her or something. I say her. With it being so big, I just kind of wonder if it's a female. I don't know for sure yet. I haven't checked. It wasn't wanting to cooperate a little while ago. With snakes, they have the same genitals as mammals, except the males have 2 instead of 1, but it's retracted inside their body, but you can get it to come out by bending the tail back and then pressing slowly closer to the end, and then rolling your thumb towards the vent and get them to expel their genitals. Then you can see what it is. I just haven't done it to this one yet. I tried once, but it wasn't wanting to cooperate, thrashing around, so I just didn't do it yet. Anyways, pretty nice snake. I like it. It's just, I try to be kind of careful getting it out of the box. Since it is a new snake, I don't take any chances. But even if it did bite me, it's not like it's venomous or anything. Anyways, I only could tell that 1 pigeon was missing, but it kind of feels like it could have eaten 2, just feeling this. So I guess I'll just have to wait for bands to pop out the other end. But yeah, some of y'all probably think I'm crazy for not just chopping his head off, but I like snakes. I've liked snakes longer than I've liked pigeons. So I like pigeons better, but I've liked snakes longer. So you never want to reach your hand out towards a snake's head either. Even a nice snake may bite if you do that. And it hasn't musked me or anything. Usually a snake that wants, usually a black snake will musk you before it'll bite you. And what that means is they excrete a stinky, well, it's called a musk. It's kind of a liquid excretion from their body that stinks very badly. They'll do that to try and make themselves seem unappetizing to potential predators before they'll bite. And she's not ever done that to me. So, he, she, I don't know. I suspect it'll probably be a female, but we'll see. I'm not sure exactly how long it is. It looks like it's probably about 5 feet long, but I haven't stretched her all the way out to find out yet. Anyways, I'm gonna put her back in the box now. Him, her, whatever. Unfortunately, the lid sticks a little, and she doesn't like that too much. There's kind of a popping sound when I push it down all the way. That's because on the other side of this rabbit wire here, I didn't just nail or staple it to the back side. I actually took boards, you can see, and screwed them in from, well, I screwed them in from this side, but the screw pulled the wood up. So this wire is actually stapled in just to hold it in place, and then I did the wood from the other side. But when I did it, somehow it wound up being a little too close on this side, and it rubs up against this front piece. And it doesn't do it over here, but it does here, and so it makes it stick a little bit. She doesn't like that. Snakes don't like fast movements, especially when they're accompanied by noise. But it's not so bad opening it, and by the time I've got it all that far closed to pop it shut, I don't think she's in any danger. That's interesting. I didn't realize this may pop out. I thought I got a pack of 2 hinges, and it turned out to just be 1. So I'm going to have to get another one so I can have it one over here and one over there. That's why there's only 1 hinge. Seems kind of odd. I'm not that cheap. But all the wood was just what I had laying around. And then I'd actually already built this thing minus the top piece for a turtle for my brother. a box turtle. So they're a lot like tortoises. They don't swim or anything. So, but it's just been sitting out here, broken back down into the pieces. So I put it back together and made the top for it. All I had, and I already had the rabbit wire. All I had to do was buy the hinge and the hasp latch. So even with the one hinge, it's still pretty sturdy. Snake's not getting out of there, and it's not a teeny tiny snake either. Anyways, I haven't put everything I'm going to put in here yet. I'll probably put pine shavings down or something. And I'll give it something to hide under in the back there. Eventually I need to put in some kind of heating pad. It'll be okay for a little while, but need to put in some kind of heating pad in one of the corners. But yep. Anyways, there it is in there. Again, seems like a pretty nice snake, but I use my snake hook, aka fire stick, fire poker stick from the fireplace. Use that to pull it out, at least for now, until she gets used to me opening the door and pulling her out, and she knows that it doesn't mean food, and it also doesn't mean that there's a threat. I would really like to be able to keep it inside, but a couple years ago I had 2 mole king snakes. Well, that's one name for them. I think another name was prairie king snake or something. Anyways, it's a king snake that has markings pretty similar to a corn snake, and colors pretty similar to a corn snake. Kind of a dark brown and kind of caramel color. Anyways, I had 2 of them, one bigger and one smaller. In a, I was just keeping them in a large plastic, well, it was like a small, I was about to say large plastic Tupperware container, which is kind of like what we keep food in, but I guess a better description would be a real small clear plastic tote with a white lid. Anyways, I took one snake out. I think I don't remember why. I think I was trying to get it to eat, but I'd taken the smaller one out and put it in a different container, and that container was not so tight and secure, and the smaller snake escaped in the house. Never did find it. After that, my mom wouldn't let me keep snakes in the house. So, but I'm hoping that by building a big wooden box with a lock on it, that I can convince her to let me bring it back inside. But after losing the first snake in the house, she's not been too excited about it. It didn't cause any trouble. Never actually found it. Kind of wonder if it got out of the house and went back to living outside, or I don't know. If he's living in our walls, he sure is doing a pretty poor job of keeping the mice down. But I don't think so. It's been quite a while. Anyways, so we'll see. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm not sure exactly how long this video is going to be, but considering how many different clips I've taken and done over the course of a week, I'm figuring it's probably going to be over an hour. So hopefully some of y'all will be dedicated enough to actually get to the end and see this part. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that. If y'all have any questions or anything y'all want to see on the channel, anything you want me to video, and again, suggestions and advice are always welcome, especially with the me just getting the pigeons over being sick. I've got to disinfect the loft or they'll get sick again. But and then I don't even know what's going on with that blue bar with the inflated crop. But you know, all of that's welcome. Y'all can leave a comment. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care.